March 2020. The United States entered a prolonged lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic. A group of friends decides to celebrate the birthday of one of their crew, Samantha, by meeting in an online chat. At first, everything is fine, but then Samantha leaves the room and never returns. Worried, her friends try to find out what happened to her and call her parents, only to discover that the girl hasn't been home for a week. The golden rule of any thriller is that the situation the characters find themselves in must get worse and more complicated, because the audience needs to be constantly surprised and, let's say, kept on their toes. If the character's predicament remains static for too long or changes in a logical, predictable way, the viewer gets bored. The creators of the screenlife thriller Don't Log Off somehow managed to ignore all these basic principles, making a film that merely simulates its genre. Frankly, we've seen several films built on a similar premise. A group of people joins a video chat where all sorts of creepy stuff starts happening to them. This was the formula for Unfriended, which kicked off the screenlife popularity wave, followed by several clones and sequels that successfully replicated its tricks. Don't Log Off starts from the same point, but its creators somehow have no idea how to develop the story and just repeat the same beat over and over. First, one character goes to check on Samantha, then another, then a third. All these trips follow the exact same script with almost no variation. For some reason, the characters don't try to arm themselves, learn no lessons from the fact that the people who went before them have lost contact, and remain absolutely convinced that it's all just some kind of prank. Generally, the characters' behavior in the film raises numerous questions. When faced with choices, they consistently opt for the dumbest, most dangerous, and most useless course of action. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, because they are all outdone by the main villain, who has neither a motive nor any semblance of a coherent plan. If you look back at all his actions at the end of the film and try to understand what he originally wanted, you can only shrug in confusion. Don't Log Off was filmed in the summer of 2020 during another COVID lockdown, and mentally, it's stuck in a different era. The characters worry and talk about things that are no longer relevant. Although, of course, this can be seen as both a minus and a plus. It's a sort of time capsule for those who remember the lockdowns fondly, when the whole world came together in the face of a common threat. Nevertheless, the characters are only superficially sketched, and the actors have little to work with. So the only memorable performances from the entire cast are Luke Benward as the genre-mandatory Joker, and a grown-up Ariel Winter from Modern Family, who is literally hypnotizing with her cleavage. The filmmakers clearly considered it one of their trump cards. Since the plot is poorly constructed and quickly becomes monotonous and repetitive, the creators try to spice things up by having their actors constantly talk over each other and shout, but they ultimately achieve the opposite effect. The film isn't scary or tense, it's simply exhausting, and to not log off becomes harder and harder with each passing minute.